Most people in England have access to the internet.
It is unclear exactly what has happened.
Thousands of people cross the channel every week.
Come in for a tasty snack at lunchtime.
I've done everything I can think of to help her.
These are basic human rights. Whiskey is the most well-known product of Scotland.
Participate in our regular social events.
More and more people in Britain want to live in the country.
We can make our own choices.
Working as a fashion model isn't as easy as you imagine.
The street has been closed off.
In many countries, kids start formal education around 7 years old.
It's one of my all-time favorites.
I feel guilty every time I leave.
Employers need people who have new ideas.
I'm terrible at getting myself organized. Four friends, 2 men and 2 women, are sitting on a blanket in the park. They are having a picnic. They are all wearing summer clothes, and 3 of them are wearing sunglasses. They are smiling at each other. Two of them are holding red cups, probably containing soft drinks. There is a camera on the blanket, and a small dog is running around their little group.
Here is a picture of a young woman sitting on a bus. Perhaps she is going to work. She is wearing sunglasses, and her long blonde hair is tied in a ponytail. She is wearing a brown coat trimmed with fur. Wires dangle from her ears to her phone, so perhaps she is listening to music. A brown handbag is next to her on the seat. The sun is streaming through the windows. She seems to be the only passenger.
This is a photo of a young man and a woman playing cards. They are sitting on wide-armed wooden chairs. The young man is wearing a light blue shirt, grey trousers and a brown belt. His clothes suit him well. He is looking at the woman and probably planning his next move. The woman is wearing a white blouse and gold earrings. There are cards and neat piles of coins between them on the arms of the chairs.
The picture shows the passenger cabin of a modern aeroplane. In the center is the aisle, with rows of occupied seats on either side. All the back of seat screens seem to be turned on. A man to the right is looking at his smartphone. At the end of the aisle there are two people standing. Perhaps a stewardess is helping a passenger to put away some hand luggage into an overhead compartment.
The picture shows a city street in autumn, with a few pedestrians and cars. On the right of the picture, a woman is pushing a pram along the pavement. She is wearing a blue jacket and blue trousers. She has a small black bag slung over her shoulder. Fallen leaves are scattered on the ground. She is approaching a wooden bench and a litter bin.
It was a lovely day. Sophie was walking in the park when something in the bushes caught her attention. As she got closer, she realized that it was a dog. The poor creature was very dirty and so weak that it couldn't get up. Clearly, it needed help. As there was no owner about, she picked up the dog and carried it to the nearest vet's. John found a new job, so he went with his friends to the pub to celebrate. They sat around a corner table and drank and chatted and laughed until it was past midnight. Because the pub was closing, they decided to make their way home. John had been drinking far too much, so his friends walked him all the way to his front door. Oliver wanted to see a film that his classmates had been talking about, so his mum booked the cinema tickets online. When they arrived at the cinema and quickly found their seats, Oliver was feeling very happy. But when the film started, the soundtrack was so loud that their ears hurt and their heads ached. They had to leave. They complained to the ticket office, and got their money back. It was a hot day in July, and Diana was on the beach with her husband and small son. They were busy building sandcastles when suddenly the sun disappeared behind a dark cloud. Soon more dark clouds had gathered, and Diana felt the first raindrops on her face. They quickly gathered their belongings and packed them into the car, feeling very disappointed. Simon had arranged a meeting with an important client, so he wanted to look his best. He went to have his hair cut, and while he sat in the barber's chair, the barber began to chat. They had not been talking long before they realized that they had known each other in the past. In fact, they had been classmates at secondary school. What a coincidence! Dory was very busy yesterday. She had invited 8 of her close friends to a dinner party. All day yesterday she was cleaning and cooking. She wanted the party to be a big success. At 7 p.m. her guests started to arrive, and by 7:30 everyone was there. So they sat down to have dinner. Her vegetarian dishes were a huge success, especially her delicious strawberry cake. They chatted and laughed long into the night. Dory didn't go to bed until 2 a.m. Why was Dory busy yesterday?
Because she had invited her friends to a dinner party.
Which dish did her guests like especially?
Her strawberry cake.
What time did Dory go to bed?
At 2 a.m.
Ted was 40, and he had lived in rented accommodation all his life. This year he decided to build a house for his family. He chose a design that was easy and quick to construct. He bought all the materials he would need and then began the hard work. Occasionally, he asked his family members for help. It took him almost a year to complete the house. It was a blue bungalow with 4 bedrooms and a large kitchen. Everyone was happy when they could finally move in. What did Ted decide to do when he was 40?
He decided to build a house for his family.
What design did he choose?
A design that was easy and quick to build.
How long did it take him to complete the house?
Almost a year.
How many bedrooms were in the new house?
4.
Martha worked as a checkout lady in a small grocer's shop. She lived with her 2 children and found it very hard to make ends meet from her small salary. She realized that she could save a lot of money if she cooked her own meals instead of buying them ready-made. She looked up easy recipes online and bought all the basic ingredients like pasta and rice in huge bags from the Oriental shop. Her children liked her cooking, and she saved a lot of money. What was Martha's job?
She was a checkout lady in a small grocery shop.
How did Martha decide to save money?
By cooking her own meals instead of buying them ready-made.
Which ingredients did she buy in huge bags from the Oriental shop?
Pasta and rice.
What did her children think of her cooking?
They liked it.
Every month, Alan took the train to visit his parents, who lived in a small country town. He usually bought his ticket from a machine on the platform, but this morning the machine was out of order. He tried the ticket office, but it was closed. He had no choice but to get on the train without a ticket. When the ticket inspector came, Alan carefully explained the situation and finally bought his ticket from the inspector. Where did Alan usually buy his train ticket?
From the ticket machine on the platform of the train station.
Why couldn't he buy his ticket this morning at the station?
Because the machine was out of order, and the ticket office was closed.
How did he buy his ticket in the end?
He bought it from the ticket inspector on the train.
Linda lived in a big city, and every day she took a 20-minute tram ride to work. One morning, while sitting on the tram, an elderly man got on. Linda naturally got up and offered her seat to him. He thanked her, but said he was getting off at the next stop. At that moment, the tram jerked to a standstill, and the old gentleman fell heavily on the floor. Linda tried to help him, but he couldn't get up. So she called for an ambulance and stayed with him until the ambulance arrived. How did Linda usually go to work?
By tram.
What did Linda do when the old man got on the tram?
She offered her seat to him.
What happened when the tram jerked to a stop?
The old man fell on the floor.
What did Linda do when she saw the old man couldn't get up?
She called for an ambulance and stayed with him until the ambulance arrived.